Hey guys, what's going on? Jake here, and welcome back to another episode of the F124 Driver Career Mode for the penultimate race weekend here in Las Vegas. But last time out in Sao Paulo, in the sprint, as you can see, that man ahead of us, Lando Norris, he gave us the position for P8 to get us a point in the sprint, and then we finished behind him, P2, in the race, up to the line. And this means that in the championship, I mean, it's a little bit confusing because I haven't ordered it, but it means that we are 11 points ahead of Lewis Hamilton, and the driver behind us is 4 points, 4 points ahead of us is Sergio Perez. So if we have a good weekend, you never know. And then in the Constructors, well, I mean, we could, if we have a good result today, put it out of reach from Aston Martin. So if we get a good result today, we can put it out of reach of Aston Martin, but if Aston Martin have a good weekend, of which they have been lately, then they could put it back towards, well, it's only 20 points in a minute, so if Fernando won, Stroll P2, then that's like 40 point swing. So we'd then have to get both of us in the points, and it would still mean we drop behind him. So, and Alonso's looking quick lately. Must have been told that I'm going to be his teammate next year, so he's stepping it up now, thinking he's going to get replaced, clearly, because I'm that good. And Lance Stroll is just shit anyway, so yeah, in practice we ended up doing a race quali and simulations ourselves, and we ended up being top of that Q1 session. Well, practice 1 session, sorry, not Q1. By the way, I'm so excited for F1 to come back. It's not back yet, and I'm missing it already. But luckily, to replace it, we have football this weekend. Football's back. I need to make a Premier League predictions video, but I haven't fully decided on my predictions yet. So what I'll probably do this year is I'll do predictions, and then I'll do top scorer, top assister, player of the season, and then I'll do 3 hot takes for the season kind of thing. So I can already tell you now, because I know that not many of you will watch both of these videos that watch my channel, that one of my hot takes will be that Man City get a points deduction or something of some sorts. That might be one of my predictions. I mean, I've just got a bad feeling that City will get away with the 115 charges, but if they get found guilty, there is no way they stay in this Premier League. They'll get a 50-point deduction, they'll get transfer embargoed for years and years, or they'll be forced to pay a massive fine and other stuff as well. So I mean, if it was me personally, I'd want to make sure that Man City can't just bounce back to the Premier League after a season and win it again, because then that's hardly a punishment. So if I was punishing Man City for 115 charges, I would strip the titles, give it to the people who they beat by cheating. I would then relegate them to the Championship and put a transfer embargo on them, meaning they have to rely on their youth academy for the next 2 seasons. I would say 2 seasons is fair. And I don't think Man City would get relegated from the Championship, but their big players would leave, they'd make a load of money, and then when all of that stuff has happened, and they've made all their money from selling their big players and stuff like that, then it will be a case of, right, so City, let's see how smart you are with your transfers, let's see if you can buy cheap players now to get yourself up from the Championship to the Prem again, and see if you can actually rebuild by abiding to the rules. I think that's fair, because I don't think City would get relegated too far down. I don't think they'd end up in the National League, but you never know. They could end up in administration if they're punished that heavily. But as you can see, on this Q2 lap, we are getting a nice little slipstream. Jesus, Jake, PG please, slipstream from Alex Albon. When I'm trying to commentate these videos, I mess up my words so much. Sometimes I feel like I just need to slow it down a little bit. But thanks to that slipstream from Alex Albon, we get ourselves P1 in the session and only half a tenth ahead of Max Verstappen. But that, because no one else really goes out from that top 7 in a session, that means we are through, obviously, and top of the session by half a tenth. But it's into Q3, we already exceeded dry limits before the laps even started, good start. But into turn 1 we go, taking turn 1 quite nicely, getting on the power nice and early, looking for a good exit out of this corner, crucial that we do. Taking it pretty much almost flat, little lifts here and there in the corner just to make sure we don't spin it, and then it's a DRS straight all the way down to this corner. This corner's a difficult one to navigate, but you need to take this corner quite well, and we do. You've got to ride over that curb, and we use the barrier there for a little bit of a brake stop, but we get a purple first sector straight away. Into the middle sector we go. There is time there already, as you can see, but it means we have to cut that corner a little bit, not enough to get a warning, so it is legal, and there again we can be tighter to that curb. So there's a lot of time through the middle bit of the lap, as you can see, and then coming onto the back straight. Really, it's just a case of get on the power as early as you can through that middle sector. But the first sector felt really good. The middle sector, there's probably a couple tenths there, and then final sector, That hairpin was okay. That's also middle sector though, and then the final sector, let's see how we take the final corner, and then I'll be able to decide how much time is really available in this lap. So here we go, through the final corner we go, riding that curve nicely. We take it really nicely through that final sector. So to be honest, I'd say maybe 2 or 3 attempts in this lap. So, and we also have another fresh set of softs, and we're not going to use softs in the race because the softs will get eaten up by this track. So let's go in to the final lap of the weekend. And through a poor final corner, we lose the 1.5 plus temps that we had, which would have been definitely enough for par, as Alonso did not improve. But it's going to be Fernando Alonso who got a slipstream on his first lap, who gets pole position. And that is huge for the championship because, well, we're battling for 5th in the Constructors, and yet we're the 2 cars on pole and the front row. So, yeah, that's a bit crazy. And then our teammates Stroll and Hulkenberg are down there. Actually, Hulkenberg has a penalty for this Grand Prix, so let's see if he can fight through. And myself, unfortunately for myself, Alonso did not get a penalty, and therefore we're going to be starting alongside the experienced Fernando Alonso, who is on pole position for the Grand Prix. But the strategy, as always it seems, is very simple. 1 stop, medium to hards, and we'll probably go a little bit earlier, get on the hards earlier, because the hards are so good on this game. So we need a good grid slot. We need to try get Fernando Alonso as early as possible, or at least just use him to train myself away from the fighting pack. Because if we're stuck in that fighting pack, we'll have nothing. No ERS, and we'll struggle. 5 red lights for the Las Vegas GP, and it is lights out, and away we go. And we all get a pretty equal start. Alonso gets a really good start, if anything, and I am able to just stay, really, where I am in P2 as we head into turn 1 now, into turn 2. And now we need to try and get a good run on Fernando Alonso, but we're having slides through this first sector, and now we're going to be under pressure from Charles Leclerc. He's going to pull alongside, but we then start using overtake mode, and we pull away from Leclerc on the straight, which is going to be a crucial factor for this race, that we do have better straight line speed for once than the AI, as long as they're not in my slipstream or have DRS. And we're already being attacked on lap 4, somehow not getting wing damage there, checking and making sure, but it doesn't look like we do, as we are now needing to push hard to get just about into the DRS of Alonso, and we get there about half a tenth before the line. We just about sneak in the DRS, but that's given us the momentum to pull up right close to Fernando Alonso. And Fernando Alonso, he's going to feel the pressure into the brake zone. A little lock up from Fernando, and we take the lead of the Las Vegas Grand Prix from a second back at the start of the straight. We've now taken the lead by the end of it. That is the straight line speed we possess in this Grand Prix today. If we can stay with the cars around us, we could win this race 100%. You know what? I'd even go as far as saying, as long as cars don't have DRS on me, as long as we're using hot lap on the straights, we could win this race. But that is something that is easier said than done. And Fernando Alonso, as soon as an AI car has slipstream and DRS, or even one of the other, and is using overtake as well, it's just you mince me. Even if like me, I didn't even fight that, but even if you are trying, you probably won't. But clearly Mark wants me to now get past Fernando Alonso, which is the next aim, but we have a few laps to do it, so we might not need to do it yet. But Max Verstappen's going to go for a move on us, so we're going to use the tiniest bit of overtake to make sure Max doesn't overtake us, and that means we're going to come steaming towards Fernando Alonso, who is a sitting duck on this straight with nothing to defend with. and we go flying past Fernando, who keeps his nose on the inside, but we're able to just make sure that he has to back out, and we take the lead of the race once again. Lap 5 of 25, on to lap 6 now. We have got pressure again behind us from the Fernando Alonso. No, actually it's not. The current reigning world champion, Max Verstappen, champion-elect. If he has a good result in this race, I think he's now going to be guaranteed to be a 4-time world champion, level with Sebastian Vettel. But can he do it, though? That's the question. I mean, if he gets taken out by me, he probably won't do it. But, you know, am I going to do Ferrari a favour? No, it seems like I've let Verstappen through and he's off down the road. My focus is having a fair and fun fight with Fernando Alonso, my potential future teammate, to see who will finish 5th in the Constructors' Championship. Nothing but respect between me and Fernando, and something he is going to respect is the fact that I'm about to make a move on Max Verstappen into the final turns of the Grand Prix. Of the lap. As we are now fighting really fairly through there with Max, leaving each other loads of space, but he ends up having to back out, which means he's now in the clutches of Fernando. So if anything, I've got Fernando out a little bit there. But Fernando couldn't hold on to that position, and now, if you will see, as an indication, my rear tyres are burning a little bit, and the tyre wear on the rear tyres is not great, so we will have to box sooner than thought. But we are now onto the main straight again, and we don't have anything really to defend with. We have no slipstream from a car ahead, we have no DRS on a car ahead, and Max Verstappen, it looks like he's simply just going to fly past me, and he does it just before the overtake zone, or before the DRS activation zone. Fernando's quite far back, but with no slipstream, and just using overtake and hot lap, we have managed to stay ahead of Verstappen, who had DRS on the straight. That is our straight line speed today. And coming on to lap 9 now, we are going to decide to... No, we're not going to box this lap. No, stupid idea. Don't box this lap. But lap 8 onto lap 9, we're going to be feeling the pressure again from Max Verstappen, as it looks like, into turn 1. Doesn't quite make the move there, but I don't really blame him. He probably would have been wiped out. But as you can see, it's just me, myself, and I. Solo ride until I die, Jesus. It's just me, Verstappen and Alonso. Two very, very good drivers and myself are now fighting it out for this win here. So it seems as if, as long as I can just stay there and thereabouts, as now Fernando Alonso, both of them are trying to sneak past me. Alonso trying to be opportunistic, but we're going to fairly squeeze Fernando out, which is, again, all fair with my potential future teammate. And now on to lap 10. About to be on lap 11 by the end of this lap. Obviously, that's how it works. Our tyres now, the rears are almost at 50%, and that's a big no-go for me. 25% they start to fall off, and that's now happening at the fronts as well. So I'm surprised we've even managed to stay with Verstappen on this lap, but the straight line speed's so crazy that we're just going to collide towards Max Verstappen, and into the final chicane, we're going to send it down the inside on Max Verstappen, retake the lead of the race, but we purely do that to not get held up through here, to make my pit strategy as quick as possible, because we are now going to box for a set of fresh, hard tyres. So here we are, in the box we come for a fresh set of hards. If we get a poor pit stop, that could be curtains for this race, that could be P3 only. So we need a good stop. It's going to be a decent 2.4 stop, so thank you very much, Haas Pit Crew. They've done me a solid this season, only a couple of mistakes here and there. But we now come out behind our teammate and the Williams of Logan Sargent. So that is going to be interesting, because I do not know the pace my teammate possesses. He has come through the pack from P19 to P14 or 15 quite nicely, to be fair to him. But we're going to have to try get past him here, as we are now needing to make a move on Logan Sargent, who will have DRS and slipstream from the car ahead, which is my teammate. But we're going to play this smart as a team. As now, we're making Logan Sargent pull out, and Hulkenberg is giving me slipstream on the straight, so we don't even have to use much ERS to get this move done, but I want to make sure it gets done. He still tries to come down the inside. We touch Hulkenberg, but we use him as a bit of a shield, if anything, and make it so Sargent cannot stay on our inside and make us lose time. But the car ahead of Hulkenberg is Lance Stroll. This is important for the constructors that we both get past here. And Stroll has a car issue. He's had a few in the past few races. He's been quite unlucky with it, to be fair. But this could now be it. And Fernando Alonso is the car who's just come out behind us. The Hassan versus Aston Martin fight is happening live on track as we go down the inside of both Stroll and our teammate in to the... I don't even know what corner that is, but that is a beautiful little dive bomb on both cars, and both myself and Hulkenberg were through. And because we got past Hulkenberg so early, he was able to hold up Alonso through the middle sector. And now we have a second gap to Alonso, which means that now, with our straight line speed, we can try and pull away. And Verstappen had a poor stop. Verstappen is not close enough. He's been undercut by myself and Fernando, but that means nothing to Fernando. It means something to me, though, because I can now try pull away from them both, using my superior straight line speed and just hot lap on the straights. because by lap 14 we have pulled a second and a half extra on Fernando Alonso, and we are setting fastest laps of the Grand Prix, a 1:32.7 fastest lap of the Grand Prix. And then we go even faster on lap 20. 6 laps later, we've pulled a 5-second gap. And now, by the time we get to lap 23, Sainz has taken our fastest lap off us. But we now have a 7-second advantage to Verstappen and Alonso, who are now battling. And we've only got 2 laps to go. Unless there is an engine failure, we are destined to win this Grand Prix. And we set another fastest lap, getting our point back for the fastest lap. This is about to be an absolute demolition derby here in Las Vegas for the Haas F1 team. We are about to win our home race. On lap 25, we are here. We are about to win our home race with still loads of ERS in the tank. This is crazy. I don't know how. You know what? I can easily tell you how. We have a fast car in a straight line and a straight line setup at a straight line circuit, and we broke away from DRS of other cars, which means that I checked to see if I could get fastest lap and I couldn't. We can now weave up to the finish line and win the Las Vegas Grand Prix, Haas's home race, by 7 seconds.
Now we can fight. Oh, superb driving. That is the race win, my friend. Well done.
And Las Vegas has its winner. And what a special victory that was, taking the checkered flag under the neon lights of Nevada.
To come here and take victory as a team today on home soil was so important. You can see how much it means to them. The drivers there doing their part. The team's strategy was perfect as well. And the fans really embraced that. What a great atmosphere we had here today.
Haas are no doubt happy with today's performance, having secured the win here this weekend, and our drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations as we speak.
My oh my, what an absolutely fantastic result that is. We have won the Las Vegas Grand Prix with the fastest lap, 7 seconds clear of Verstappen and Alonso. Once we broke Alonso out of DRS range, there was nothing he could do. We just kept pulling away, and Alonso was nowhere near as quick as Verstappen, who caught him by 2 seconds. Verstappen and Alonso had way different onset of pace. Like, I had the most pace, Verstappen second most, Alonso third, but Alonso, due to the DRS, was able to stay with. And I'm really keen to see how this is going to affect the championship. But first, there's other stuff to attend to, as we are now up to the 78 rating. We could have only set ourselves a 75 target, just showing how well we've done in our first season of Formula 1. Yes, maybe down to the fact the AI has been a little bit low. But next season, it'll be 105 every race. And hopefully, we've proved ourselves enough now to Aston Martin that we will be driving for them next season. Hopefully is the key word. But still not going to try put Haas in the mud. They've been nice to me, Haas. The Ferrari family is the reason I'm leaving. But Haas have been nice to me, so we're going to try and protect some upgrades if we can. Unfortunately, not able to on this occasion. But the next race is the final race of the season, the Qatar Grand Prix, and I'm thoroughly excited for that. But here we are. It's time for the standings. We are now in the Constructors, clear of Aston Martin. We have a 31-point gap, which is technically not mathematically safe. But I don't expect Aston Martin to get a 1-2 and a fastest lap. So I think we are safe now. And in the drivers, we are now 5th in the Drivers' Championship. Only 9 points behind Lando Norris. And we are now 12 clear of the car behind us, Sergio Perez. Which means that technically, a fight for P4 in the drivers is on. Which is absolutely mental. I'm looking forward to this finale, guys. See you all next time.